Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. We will have a joint talk now. Our next speakers are Dr. Celine Scornavacca and Dr. Denis Bourguet. So, Dr. Scornavacca is a research director at CNRS, which is in France, based at the Institute of Evolutionary Sciences of Montpellier. Her research interests include parametized complexity, supertrees, and network methods for phylogenetics, combinatorics, and bioinformatics. And Dr. Bourguet is a researcher from the French National Institute for Agricultural Research. Dr. Bourguet performs studies in evolutionary ecology and in some topics such as the importance and influence of conflicts of interests in studies of the efficacy and durability of genetically modified plants. So their talk is titled Do It Yourself, Publishing Without Publishers. Dr. Scornavacca and Dr. Bourguet, you may start whenever you want.
Hi, thank you so much for the nice presentation.
Thanks, Gabriel.
So today we are going to perform a bit of a typical talk. So I've been contacted by the organizer of the conference where they asked me if I wanted to talk about my research or about the story of our self-edited book. And I jumped on the occasion of telling you about this journey in self-editing with our colleague. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Is it good now?
Yes,
it is.
Great. So the journey started, I think 3 years ago, when Fred Delsuc, who just did his talk in the previous session, and Nicolas Galtier and I were contacted by a publisher that I will not give you the name of, to be editor of a book on phylogenomics. And actually, the only thing that the publisher did was just to ask if we wanted to be editors of this book on phylogenomics, giving the topic. And then when we decided to jump on board, we started doing actually all the job. So when we accepted, we decided the scope of the book, the section, the chapter, and we contacted the author that we wanted to be part of the book. And the publisher decided, once that we set up on the framework, they provided us with the templates for the chapter, the front page, and everything. And it was very clear that we were also expected to check that everything was respected. So we were supposed to check that the reference were in the correct formats, that the editing, the figure at the end of the document. So we had to do all the job. And they offered us, for the three of us, $1,500. So it was like $500 each of the editor. We didn't do it for the money, obviously, but yeah, it was surprising very low with respect to what we will discover later in the talk about how much they wanted us from us. So we had lots of people that wanted to be part of the book. So once that we had a list of the author and some of the authors started writing up the chapter, we were contacted by a sub-list, a subset of the author that wanted the book to be open access. They had the money for having it open access. So we said, yes, why not? It's a really good idea to have it for free for a researcher and a young researcher to be able to access it easily and for free. So we asked the publisher how much money it would be worth it to have it open access. And they actually said, wait for it. They asked us $3,000 per chapter if we wanted to have individual chapter open access. But if we wanted to have the whole, book in open access, then that it was cheaper. So they asked us to make a book that was around 400 pages at the time. So it would be like 15K of open access. And actually, when we finished the book, the book is now almost 600 pages. So we would have paid 20K for having this book open access. And actually, when we came with the answer, we went to the author. People just started discussing, who is going to pay, so who has the money, should we just divide by number chapter, and each of the author list in a chapter gather the money, and etc. But actually, I really felt that something was really highly not right in this situation, because I really had the impression that we were doing all the job, and that we were also going to pay having done all the job, and that this was really like something that I felt that I could not accept to be part of. So I discussed with the other editors and with the authors afterwards, and we said, okay, so we don't want to be paid as editors, and we can try to have a discount to see how deep the greedy of this publisher is. And so we asked for paying like a smaller amount of money, and they just said no. That's it. They said that they could not do it because they were not going to be able to sell the books, because the book was for free, so the hard copy book was not going to sell much, and that they could also not factor it in the subscription cost, because the book was also free, and that they had to pay for the printing, the shipping, the distribution, the author copy and the promotional copy, and it was like impossible for them to make to do it less than $10,000. And then what I suggested, just to go out of the contract and rescind the contract and did the job alone. And all the other editors and the author, they said, yes, why not? Let's try it. And this is how like the journey started. And so this is the cover of our book. And so what is inside this book? What is the job that has been done with in the book? So first of all, obviously, the big work is what the author did. So writing the chapter, and they did a really great job. Each chapter is it's a pearl in itself. I really strongly suggest you to read them. It's really a very beautiful journey and phylogenomics. And then, coming from the computer science community, I knew that for lots of conferences in the computer science community, the chair of the conference, they are provided with some templates for actually almost self-editing the proceeding of the conference. So what I've done is just to look for this template of some proceeding, and I choose the Lipix because I really like their logo, and it's really very nice. And they are actually they are online, so you can go on the Dashul website and then just click on on the template, and then you can simply get the template as an editor, so with the front page and styles, and also as an author. So what I've done is just I downloaded it, and like en passant, I just wanted to show you that they actually charge €60 per article instead of 3,000. So this is the money they ask for the presenting this computer science kind of conference, for dealing for the article, doing the typesetting, all the stuff that the famous publisher were asking us. And so what I've done is that I changed a little bit the templates, and for doing so, I used LaTeX, that is a software system for document preparation, and that I used the first time for doing my master thesis, then for my PhD and so on. And it is a little bit annoying to start with, and I'm pretty sure that you saw it, because some of the journal are starting more and more using LaTeX template now, and it really gives you the possibility of self-edit whatever you want in a really professional way. So it's a steep curve to learn, but it's really worth doing it, because afterwards, yeah, you can self-edit a book if you want. And then what we added, it was like a nice cover of a friend of mine, Matt Batfield, who did the cover of the book and offer Open Science his picture of an almond tree. And then we contacted HAL, that is the Archives Ouverts. It's a French kind of a national archive, bioarchive, so that permits French researcher to share documents. And after the shorter embargo, since a few years, all French researchers are asked to put all their papers on this kind of national bioarchive. It's a way of for French government like to stop this private publishing grab in to the public research money. And so we asked them to help us having a nice website for our book. So if you go on the URL that I put on the screen, then you can access the book and see that the URL is pretty cool. So we have a table of contents, so you can download each chapter or the full book, and we have a front page explaining the project and everything. It's pretty nice. It is thanks to the HAL team that we managed to do this in this nice way. And then some author asked me for having an ESMB number, because they needed it for being able to say that they published like a real paper. It was not like a fake paper. And it actually, these 25 years, the only cost that we paid for the whole book. So the book cost €25. That is, and yeah, you could say that our work costed the CNRS and my institution and paid me. But actually, what I've done, I would almost have done the same if I was working with the publisher. And so we didn't pay editor cost, because we did something free for our community, and it was big fun, and it was I'm really proud. We are all proud of this, and this $500 would not have been enough for cover the joy of sharing this with the community. And we didn't pay any production costs, because the template was free. LaTeX was for free, and the typesetting, the copy editing, we almost would have done it also with the publisher, because they asked us to check almost everything. So we just reread it, and like each of the editor read a third of the book, and then we swap rereading, and it was not very much work. And by the way, if you ask other kind of editors, like the one of the kind of the conference that I was referring to before, that you can have the job of type editing, all the stuff done for way less than $20,000. And also we didn't need the marketing of the book cost, neither the printing, because we asked HALA to do it, and they did it for us. And actually, like we don't need this kind of help from this publisher, because when the editors are known, the authors are known, that you don't really need a lot of advertising. So when we look at the number of time that the chapter has been downloaded, it's incredible. There are some chapters been downloaded to 2,000 time already, and the book also a lot of time. So, and also Twitter was tweeting about it. So yeah, when something is done with the heart and the quality is there, you don't need anything else. So I just wanted to wrap it up very, very shortly, saying that actually this journey in the self-editing really opened up my eyes to the big problem we have with the private scientific publishing. And I saw and read lots about it, but I think it is very interesting talk about Professor Balaram, the former director of the Indian Institute of Science. I put the URL on the screen. It's really the one I like the most, and really explain how we got there, and give you some advices how we get out from this situation. And actually, there are so many things that in the world that we can't change, because it's the government, the bank, the finance, and we can't do a lot about it because it's too complicated. But there we can really do something, because it's our word is the scientific publisher, it's scientific. So we can really do something. We can stop that when we want. And I would just finish giving you some advice, if I can. So as an author, you need to boycott. You need to choose your journal, thinking not only about the impact factor, but also if they are academia friendly. So in my lab, we are working on a database of academia friendly journals in ecology and evolution that we will share with the community. So this is something just to answer to the fact, if there are young authors, you cannot just go for small journal because they need to have a good CV. But there are lots of journals that are academia friendly out there. So we have to boycott the one that are not and choose the one that they are academic friendly. And then as an editor and reviewer, what I do, I just say no to being editor to some journal because they are not academia friendly. I say no to reviewing to journals that are not academia friendly, and I explain my choice clearly in the emails when I say no. And we can also try new ways of pre-reviewing. So Denis will explain that to you in the next part of the talk. And then as a manager, we need to resist and reform. So we don't have to, we have really stopped looking at the CV of a young researcher we want to hire, just looking at the journal where he or she is publishing, but asking, the 5 better paper that he or she thinks that is published, and the person can explain why. So there are other ways like to evaluate a CV that's just looking at the journals where the person is publishing. And it's something that we really should think of, is that this is public money. It's public money that we are wasting. We are giving to like private people that do not always deserve it. And this is something that for me, it's something moral that we really need to stop, because it's not our money. And we need to save this money for hiring people, not for like giving to private publishing. And as a mentor, I think we have to explain the problem to the next generation of the scientists, such that maybe they can stop looking at each other, just looking at the CV and the journal, and maybe stop us as fast as possible. So thank you so much. And Denis, you can finish up. Sorry for being too long.
Can you close your... So I can share my screen now? Yep. So I think there's this one. Do you see my screen? Excellent. So I will talk about PCI evolutionary biology, and PCI, which is a free alternative to evaluate, validate, and publish articles in evolutionary biology. So the scientific publication is currently too long. It is not transparent. It is, as said by Celine, very expensive for our public institution. And it's quite a vicious system, because the more papers the publisher publish, the more money they are making. And for us researchers, the more paper we are publishing, the best it is for our careers, for the recruiting and promoting and so on. So we can use preprints, because preprints are quite good. They are free for authors, free for readers. They are available immediately. This is arXiv, a proof of anteriority. It is searchable and findable in the internet, and it is a very low cost. But there is a putative quality problem, because there is no formal evaluation, there is no peer reviews of preprints. So everything can be found in open arXiv, including preprints of very bad quality. And we have seen this with the COVID-19. So we therefore need preprint evaluation. And this is what we propose to do with peer community in. So for free, actually. So our goal is to create several communities of researchers evaluating through peer review and recommending, highlighting preprints in their scientific fields. So we started with PCI, evolutionary biology. So then we created PCI ecology, paleontology, and so on. So how does it work? It's quite easy. So first step, the authors must deposit their preprint in a preprint server. Then they can submit it to PCI. So if it is a preprint in evolutionary biology, they will go to the PCI Evolbiol website. There, they will give the link to their preprint, and they will suggest associate editors to take the evaluation in charge. If none of the associate editors is interested, the preprint is not considered. In case one of them is interested, they will organize a peer review. So it is then like in a classic journal. Based on the peer review, the associate editor will reject the paper, will ask the authors to make revisions or accept the paper. So there can be several rounds of peer reviews, but at the end, the associate editor will reject the paper or accept the paper. In case of acceptance, the authors will be asked to deposit a final version of their paper in the preprint server, and the associate editor will write a recommendation text. And we will publish the recommendation text on the PCI evolutionary website with the reviews and all the editorial correspondence. So here you have a final recommended article, which is valid, citable, and the literature. So what is the fate of PCI recommended articles? At the end, as an author, you can be satisfied by leaving your preprint in the preprint server. But you can also choose to submit it for publication in peer community journals. We will start this journal in this fall, actually, 2021, or you can submit it to a PCI-friendly journals. So some of them accept all PCI-recommended paper without further peer reviews. Some of them are giving an answer very quickly, less than 5 days, that they will say that they will accept your paper without further peer review, that your paper needs further peer reviews, or that they are not interested. In these two cases, the authors can go back, choose to publish it in peer community journal, or try to submit it to another PCI-friendly journals. So just to give you some names of PCI-friendly journals that give answers in less than 5 days. Sorry, there is Ecology Letters, JEB, Evolution Letters, Evolution, Oikos, and PLOS Biology. As I said, fall 2021, we will start peer community journals. They will accept as is all articles recommended by PCI. And this will be free for authors, open access, and free for authors. There will be no APC. So currently we have 14 PCI. So we have recommended like more than 200 papers, received more than 400 papers. So we have a lot of recommenders, the associate editors, and more than 100 supporting organizations. So if you take a look at PCI evolutionary biology, there are more than 400 associate editors, recommenders, and we have received more than 200 submissions and recommended more than 100 papers. So we have a lot of support. I won't give the details. And in conclusions, you can submit your preprint to PCI evolutionary biology. You can get a public and free PCI recommendation. And then you can leave it at a preprint server, or you can get it published in a journal. Thanks for your attention. I've tried to be fast.
I'm so sorry, Denis, for being so long.
That's okay.
Thank you very much, both Denis and Celine, for your talk. It is a very important subject, and there was a lot of resources that I particularly had no idea existed. And we have a lot of questions, and it's okay if I start reading them for you. I will understand that as a yes. So, Luciano Naka, he asked if the Daphne database, is the Daphne database publicly available? Hello? I think you're muted, Denis, Dr. Denis.
Celine, try again, Gabriel. Sorry about this.
I think Dr. Celine is frozen. The question was if is the Daphne database publicly available?
I'm not sure about this. Celine should ask because this database has been developed by her lab. So I'm not sure it is already available publicly, but probably it will. Celine left, but that's okay. I can answer this.
Okay. So we have some questions for Celine in particular. So I think we will skip that and go to the others. Manolo Perez asked, if can early career scientists work as a volunteers reviewing papers in the peer review community initiative?
Mm-hmm. Yes, certainly they can do that. So because associate editors, what we call recommenders, they can invite, colleagues and so people outside the community, so like in the journal. So they can pick up like postdoc or early career researchers.
So the steps for an early career researcher to start working as a reviewer in this kind of initiative is to contact a editor there.
Yeah, they can register on the PCI evolutionary website, so they will be in the database, so it will be easier for them to be selected as reviewers by editors.
Awesome. I think we have
welcome back, Celine.
Yeah.
So actually, Frédéric Delsuc is in the chat as well. So he said that Daphne. So the question was that Daphne will be publicly available. So Frederick said that it will be shared shortly.
I wanted to put the URL, but still ongoing process. Soon.
Awesome. Manolo Perez also asked, he said, very nice talk. How can young career scientists balance the pressure to publish and also avoid predatory journals?
I would say to avoid predatory journals, because most evaluating committees, they know predatory journals. So if they publish in these journals, actually this won't be good for their careers. So I would suggest to publish in well-established journals or alternative journals, society journals, for example. That would be great.
Awesome. So Genilda Castro de Omenda Neta said, great initiative. And just that, just a compliment.
Thanks.
Professor Tandy Warnall, she said, Celine, wonderful and important presentation, but an uphill battle. Those people who care so much about age index and things like this will not be so comfortable with this approach.
Celine?
I think she's muted.
Celine?
I think.
Yeah, I'm back again, but it's not going to work very well.
Oh, that's
there was a question about the age index.
Yeah. Can you say it again?
Sure. It's actually a commentary by Professor Tandy Warnall.
Yeah.
Said, wonderful and important presentation, but an uphill battle. Those people who care so much about age indexes and things like this, they will not be so comfortable with this approach.
Yeah. So, so I think maybe Denis will share my opinion, is that in France, we are reaching that critical mass. Lots of people like knows PCI. There are more and more institutions that consider peer-reviewed article by PCI as a very good article, and they don't consider it as just like a bioarchive because they are being peer-reviewed. So I think that we have to really think that we can solve the problem, because we are the person that are giving the job for free, and if we stop doing that, then it will just work. And for sure we need to reach a critical mass, and in France we have the possibility more than in other part of the world of having tenure track when we are young. And once that you have a tenure track, then you can fight the system. It's sure that if you are inside the system and people are considering your CV only as like a bunch of H index, then you can't put your career in jeopardy. So I don't ask young people to put the career in jeopardy, but just to have in their mind that as soon as they have a tenure, they really have to try to fight the system. And all people that have tenure, we have to already fight the system. And it's like it didn't change anything in my career, because because we are reaching the critical mass. So let's go and reach a critical mass in other countries.
I hope so.
So in addition, Celine, what we try to do with PCI is to be not exclusive. So people can use PCI and then published in a well-established journal. And this is also why we decided to create peer community journal this fall. So this will allow people to publish their recommended paper by PCI. So to have a regular publication in a very good journal. So this is our expectation, because we know how difficult it is to just leave your paper recommended by a PCI.
Right. We have more. I don't think we have any more questions. We have a lot of commentaries. Where is it? So Mariana Gilardi, she said, thank you so much for these amazing presentations. And then she asked if the Daphne database will be available soon for access. And I
Yeah.
think we already covered that.
Yeah.
Genilda Castro said, congratulations. William Ribeiro said, amazing talk, very important subject. Maite Soto, she said, no questions from me, only the utmost respect for you.
Oh, thanks.
And then there's Frederick Delsuk. I think he was in the talk before that. He said that Daphne will be shared shortly. Okay, so I think that's it. I'd like to thank again.
Thanks
Dr.
again,
Bourguet
Gabriel.
and Dr. Scornavacca.
Thank you.
We blown our time a little bit, but that's okay.
Sorry.
There are no, it's okay, it's okay. There's another talk going on right now. So guests, if you wanna hop there, the link is on our Discord and on the calendar we send you. And that's it. Thanks again.
Thanks, Gabriel. Thanks to you. Yep.
And
Thanks.
we can close now this session.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.